Hey everyone, Dale here with Renewable Innovations. Today we're going to talk about a reality that's coming fast. And for a lot of people in the solar industry, it's not going to be pretty. I'm talking about the expiration of the federal solar investment tax credit, that 30% that you've heard so much about. And that's occurring on December 31st, 2025. That's this year. Now, most industry insiders agree on one thing. When the credit sunsets, as many as 50% of solar contractors will just close up shop. That's not just a few companies going under, that's hundreds of thousands of jobs disappearing in what's supposed to be the golden age of America. For homeowners, that sounds devastating. And yes, it's going to change the landscape overnight. But here's the thing. While it will absolutely thin the herd of contractors, it's also going to reshape the market in ways that might actually benefit you if you at least play your cards right. So let's break it down in this video, what's likely to happen and why you should still consider making the switch to renewable energy before the credit expires, and why I recommend working with companies like Qcell and their installation division, Axia. So first, let's talk about pricing. Right now, if you qualify for the 30% tax credit, it's a huge help. On a $30,000 solar project, you're talking about $9,000. And even if you don't qualify, there are still options like a power purchase agreement, which works similarly to a lease. You pay for the power, not the panels, and often at a lower rate than the utility provides you with. This is where Qcell really stands out. They've got three huge advantages compared to many other companies. One, their own installation division, which is Axia. So you're dealing directly with the manufacturer's teams, not a mysterious subcontractor. Two, their own financing division, EnFin, which means more stable lending even when other lenders tighten up. They're also, this is the third, the leading solar panel manufacturer in the United States. So they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Why do I say they're better choice than your average local subcontractor? Simple. Local contractor is probably already selling Qcell solar panels anyways. Heck, even Tesla uses Qcell panels for their system installations. Qcell has a solid footing in the industry, and having them install your system gives you a better shot at long-term support. Now, nothing is 100% guaranteed, especially in the solar industry. We've seen big names fail, like SunPower recently. But there's a big difference here. SunPower was a premium, high-cost brand, usually 2 or 3 times the price of a Qcell system. And they operated on a much stricter distribution model. You could only sell SunPower if you were an exclusive dealer. Qcell, they're affordable, they're reliable, and widely available through distribution, not just their panels, but also their own microinverters and their Q.Home core battery system. And they're backed by Hanawa, a multi-billion-dollar global company that makes the odds of them going bankrupt or exiting the solar business dramatically lower than your average mom and pop shop. Second, lending is about to get a lot harder. Right now, many solar loans come with low interest rates, but high dealer fees. And if you're not familiar with dealer fees, Solar Surge, Joe over at Solar Surge has done a great video on that. I'll be doing one as well. So be sure to like, follow, and subscribe when I talk about dealer fees that have been in the industry and are likely to be disappearing. But they get baked into the sale. They're built into your price. This structure is going to vanish quickly when the tax credit is gone. Without it, lenders are going to be far more cautious. Local contractors will likely have to rely on customers who pay cash or going through local credit unions. And while that's not necessarily bad, it will reduce the number of homeowners who can actually afford to go solar. EnFin, which is Qcells' financing arm, in a big advantage here. Not only do they offer loans, but they also offer a PPA option. That's a power purchase agreement. And in that space, their only real competitor is Sunrun. Tesla doesn't even offer a PPA option. And yes, there are homeowners who benefit from that structure, especially those who want predictable costs and long-term warranties. But personally, I have serious concerns about Sunrun long-term, at least in reference to their stability. Their reviews aren't great, averaging around 2.2 to 2.8 stars across multiple sites. Just doing a quick Google search and you can see that. And while reviews across many industries can easily be manipulated, both positively and negatively, so kind of take anything you see on Google or on any of these platforms at a grain of salt for their reviews. It doesn't necessarily reflect the organization, but it is something to reference, I suppose. But it's worth noting that many large solar companies don't even have a proper Google business profile. I do find this a little strange that Sunrun doesn't have one, but for the record, Axia by Qcell doesn't either, which again, I think is pretty odd. But when you do find reviews, they tend to be a bit higher than their competitors. Now, the third thing you need to be paying attention to, prices will be going up after this tax credit's gone. When the tax credit disappears, so does the flood of low-cost contractors fighting for your signature. Without the race to the bottom competition, the remaining contractors will have to raise their prices to cover overhead. I'd expect at least 10 to 15% increases for most local contractors. And with fewer installations happening, their crews will be working fewer jobs, meaning each project has to carry more of the company's cost. If you go directly through a company like Qcell, you're likely to get better pricing stability, especially if you look at it now. And yes, if you schedule a consultation with me, it is $249. And the good news is I actually refund it. So if you do make the switch to clean renewable energy with us and go with the Qcells Axia proposal that I provide, I refund you that full fee, that $249. And I share real pricing in my videos. I've done them. So if you don't want to pay the $249, go find a video that I mentioned pricing in so you can kind of get a gauge of what the cost might be. Obviously, you need a custom quote to your home, but that's why I put free pricing in my videos. And then, you can pay that fee because I've had my time wasted and your time's worth money, my time's worth money. It's not that I'm trying to do anything different. It's just, if you're out there shopping around for 10, 20, 30 different contractors, just trying to find the guy that's going to do the shit for free, I'm not the guy to talk to then. You're probably just wasting a lot of people's time, sadly. I mean, seriously. But we need to talk about the bigger picture here. Utility costs. If you live in California, you've already felt the pain. We're talking about 40 to 50 to 60 cents per kilowatt hour in many areas. Compare that to 15 to 25 cents in places like Texas and Florida, which Axia by Qcell does provide support in. For them, the difference between going solar and staying on the grid isn't as dramatic, at least not yet. But here in California, that meter is ticking, literally and financially. And every month you're paying the utility more for the same amount of power. And with the state pushing for full electrification of homes and transportation, demand is only going to increase. Utilities will keep rising their rates because they have to. Building new generation facilities are not cheap. Maintaining aging infrastructure is not cheap. And meeting all the state mandates costs a significant amount of money. And that's where solar energy shines. It's not just about lowering your bill, it's about insulating yourself from future price hikes. We've hit a pivotal moment in clean energy technology. Sure, it'll improve over time, but the panels and the batteries you get today are not going to magically just jump up 10 times in the next 10 years. If anything, some components could get more expensive, especially if tariffs on Chinese products increase. The good news, we're already seeing bigger commitment to US manufacturing. Qcell made this decision to build panels domestically long before Trump's tariff era. Companies like EnFin, SolarEdge, and K2 Systems have also increased stateside production. So it's really nice to see these organizations working to produce their products domestically. And if you already have solar, well, the next step is actually to get a battery. Axia by Qcell offers the Tesla Powerwall and their own Q.Home core battery. That matters because many homeowners are finding that time of use rates are eating into their solar credits much faster than expected, even when you went 20, 30, 40% over what your current energy usage was. That's how dramatic these price changes have been, at least here in California. Now, a battery lets you use more of your own power because you're storing it on site rather than selling it to the utility company for less than what they're going to charge you at a later time. And then you use that power at that later time when they would charge you more. And if you really want to take it further, look at load management and smart home integration. I've been deep into home automation since Apple launched HomeKit years ago. And I even fully automated my last house before offering those services to my clients. Smart home energy monitoring gives you the visibility and control you need to maximize your solar investment. And now we're even seeing the rise of balcony solar systems for people who live in apartments or condos. EnFin launched one in Europe recently, and AP Systems just announced theirs in the United States. And I'll be doing a full video on them very soon, so be sure to subscribe to the channel to learn more about balcony solar systems. We're not in a golden age of free energy. We're in an energy crisis that solar can actually help solve. So here's the short-term downside and long-term upside. Once the tax credit is gone, here's what you can expect. Fewer companies in the market, higher prices, fewer lending options. There's no disputing this. But here's the upside. With fewer companies, the quality of the industry should actually improve. Customer service, sales tactics, and installation practices have been all over the place for years. Fewer bad actors means fewer shady door knocks at 8 p.m. telling you the government is giving away free solar. Spoiler, it's not. They never have. They're probably never going to. And let's not forget about the solar bro culture that celebrates massive commissions off of a single homeowner. That should die down too. And honestly, good riddance. So where do I stand with all this? I've never made huge money selling solar. I'm here because I'm passionate about technology, committed to a sustainable future. Sometimes that means picking up Lyft or Uber shifts or shooting 360-degree virtual tours for realtors and businesses to keep things moving. But I'm still here. I'm still servicing my clients. I'm still keeping up on my certifications. I'm still working with companies like Axia by Qcell because I believe in the work. I believe in what I'm doing is helping someone. Could I charge $5,000 or $10,000 in commissions like so many sales reps do? Sure, but that's not sustainable and it's not fair to you. My background is in real estate, where transparency is required, and I carry that over into the solar industry, even if it costs me the sale. Waiting will only cost you more. I don't expect Axia to raise their prices much over the next year or so, but the rest of the market likely will. And thousands of homeowners still don't know that. So be sure to share this video and get the message out there. One more thing. Incentives by the state could actually make a comeback. When state incentives existed here in California a little over 15 years ago, they were a nightmare to navigate. That was pre my time, but all I ever heard was horror stories about it. And yeah, that was California for you. And if they return, expect them to be just as clunky. And yes, I'll be here to help you through them if they do, because that's what I do. Help people just like you. I serve California, Texas, and Florida directly through Axia by Qcell. And I've partnered with companies like Icon Power in Arizona. So whether you work with me or not, I want you to have the facts, not the sales pitch. And that's why my content is the way it is. It's just straight up the truth. And maybe it's a little bit of my opinion. It is a little bit. It is my opinion. It's my content and my opinion. But I want you to have the facts at the end of the day. I want you to understand what you're buying, and I want you to feel comfortable with the investment that you're making. This industry isn't dying. It's restructuring. And honestly, it freaking needs it. I was definitely in favor of the 30% tax credit being removed, and I still am. I've told big players for years what was coming and how they should adapt. The only ones who really listened were Qcell and Tesla. Now, Tesla, that's a story for another day. We don't need to get into it, but I did write a blog on it. You can check it out on our website. Now, just so you know, I'm good at analytics, I'm good at probabilities, and here's my prediction. The future of solar is still bright, but you need to work with the right people and the right companies. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Share this video so someone else can make a smart decision about going solar or getting a battery or getting home automation. Whatever you're looking for, we're here for you here at Renewable Innovations. That's what I strive to do, is help you in whatever way I can. So I appreciate your time. Use that link down in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one.